Welcome, guys, to another episode of the Monarchy podcast. Today, I have a really, really good friend of mine, Sadi Jimenez, and she's a doctor of
naturopathic medicine.
Naturopathic medicine.
Yes. So I'm a licensed naturopathic doctor in the state of California. So for those that don't know what that is, which people don't,
I do not.
Is integrative medicine. So I do conventional medicine with pill to the ill, right? So like whenever you go to the doctor, they give you a prescription for whatever you have. And I also do natural medicine. So everything like lifestyle medication, stress reductions techniques, physical medicine, homeopathy, botanical medicine, all the other things that conventional medicine does not offer, right?
Gotcha. Okay, so wait, before we get into like the serious stuff, I want the viewers to know a little bit about you and I as well, and how we are childhood friends from Cuba. And like, I don't know, did we meet once we were inside our mother's bellies or something, or was it?
I think it was like with pre-K, right? Pre-K, what is it? Círculo.
Yeah, for real. Yes. So we've actually...
You were like, hold on, you were a little Indian? I think we dressed up one time.
You have really good memory, because I don't remember that at all.
We were like probably like 5 or 6, and we had like in a círculo the dresses. I don't think it was Halloween, but it was like kind of like a Halloween thing, and you were like dressed up as a little Indian, and I was dressed up as a little Indian.
Do you think was it a coincidence, or you think our parents, planned to have us dressed as Indians?
No, I think it was. I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
We gotta.
But ask. I think our friends, our parents became friends because of us.
Oh, I thought it was the other way
around.
Like,
no. I think they became friends. Yeah, my mom told me this. They became friends because of us, and then they just stayed friends.
Gotcha. I thought because your mom was a teacher, right?
But not in Cuba.
Oh, she became a teacher here. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's probably right. So yeah. So I do remember, our interactions back in Cuba, but not as well as you do. And I also remember once you guys came and I came. I don't know who came first to the United States,
you did.
But I did. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we would hang out. So throughout the years, we've always kept in touch. And when we went to Atlanta, remember? We had a great time.
I made you watch The Exorcist with me.
Oh, man.
You were so scared. You did not want to watch The Exorcist.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, you were. You were like...
Well, maybe because around that time, I was, discovering my non-religious, because see, all those things are fearful if you believe in them, right? So at that time is when I was discovering and studying and figuring things out about religion and, what I believe and what I don't believe. So, I mean, we could watch it again, and I promise you I won't be scared, because now I know it's not real. So.
All right. That sounds good. All
right. So wait, guys, hold on. Give me a second. Please. Right now, if you have a moment, take the moment, please, to subscribe, like. Oh, actually, a friend of mine is there. But before he takes my attention away from that, subscribe, like, and comment. I want to hear from you guys how we're doing, and it matters to me. I read the comments and I respond as well. So let me know how we're doing. Subscribe. Thank you. All right, let's keep going. All right, let's get back on track here. Let's get back on track. So. I want to focus specifically on how you can bring value to corporations or businesses as far as mental health and just stress relief. So where do we start?
That's a huge topic. And I think you start with what is going on inside each company. What is the value that the top is coming from the top down? If the value system from the top is, hey, our what the mental health of our workers matters, that will resonate and they will see it. Um, I think now with COVID, a lot of companies are seeing, going into the telemedicine. Excuse me, I do telemedicine, but they're coming, they're virtual and they're having issues connecting with the worker. The workers are the suicide rates are going up as well. So there's a lot of mental health that can be involved when it comes to, I guess, connecting with the workers and making sure that they're good with everything that's
Yeah.
going on right now.
It's funny you mentioned the what values come from the top, right?
Hmm.
But I think that could be problematic, especially for somebody like me and the environment that we work with, because I can't expect everybody to have the same mental fortitude or
Hmm.
drive that I do. And sometimes I think I'm not alone in this. I expect my people to be the same. So is it like who has to change? Is it me that has to realize, hey, not everybody's the same, or is it them that have to say, hey, like, we should be more like him?
Yeah, I think it's a combination. It's a culture, and I think the leader has to set an example, and people will follow. I think what I've seen is it's like when a company makes a shift and say, hey, this is our values, and leadership is showing that. Uh, Eventually the whole culture shifts. Now this shifts that we're talking about doesn't happen overnight, right? A lot, this I always say, like, the hardest medicine is the mental medicine, right? Because it's you have to create change, and to create change takes time. These are changes that have been people have been doing for years and years.
Yeah.
So I think it comes from both.
Okay.
I don't think it just, I don't think, I think I see what you're saying, but I don't think I think it has to be a shift from the company, a
Gotcha.
cultural shift from the company,
Gotcha.
and the rest
Gotcha.
will follow.
Yeah. Because I mean, look. Maybe I do need it, but I don't realize it. Like, I can work and work, and when it gets more stressful, that's when I work the most. Like, I handle stress very well, but I know not everybody does. So I just I guess I have to be more aware, right? Like, just realize that not everybody is built as I am, And
Right.
while that may be an advantage that I have, they may have other advantages that can also, like, other, I don't know, mental advantages, like patience maybe,
Yeah,
or
and and stress, I have to say this, is stress is expressed very differently for people. So like for example, I have women that would come in with like skin issues, and then they'll it will be stress related, or it's someone that's depressed and it's actually stress related. um it, it, Stress can be manifested not just mental, it can be also physical, it can be biochemical. So everyone everyone has what we call there's a stress zone, a resilient stress zone. So anything above it, you don't want to, because then you're overstressed. Anything below that is you're not stimulated enough to work. So you want to be in this little zone here, right? That's like your the stress zone where builds resilience,
okay,
right? And everyone has a different threshold. What you want to do is build tools so that you know your threshold, and then maybe you can, move that up and down. So that's where mental resilience breath work comes in, being able to know yourself. What is your limit? Do you work best in the morning versus you work best at night? Having your sleep, knowing when to have fun. Like people that work, 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 work. And I have like millionaires that are my patients. And literally the only intervention I have had to do is ask him, what do you do for fun? And they've like broke down because no one's asked them that. So there's definitely a lot to
Gotcha.
to stress, and um, it's not just. I think people only see stress when it derails their life, but there's a zone, and you want to be able to stay in that zone. And
Yeah.
what keeps you in that zone is the tools that you build.
Okay, so what is it that you do specifically for those millionaires, or these corporations? Like, for example, I want to improve the culture of my company. How can you do that? Or like, what's your process? Like, you come in, evaluate. What's your process like?
Well, I think we've talked a little bit about this. What I've started to do is done classes, set the tone, right? So come up with what are your goals? What is your mission? What is your vision of the company? What are your value systems? And then you work from there.
Gotcha.
If your value system is to have a a workforce that it has mental clarity and mental resilience, right? Breath work is part of that. So how do you teach them how to do that breath work? And that's something, one of the easiest interventions to do. The simplest, you can literally do that at your desk.
Yeah.
And it does make a big difference.
And you think for somebody like me that's already like always, with the foot on the accelerator, can if I do breath work, can I push a little bit harder, you think?
I don't think you need to push a little bit harder. Remember, we need to keep you in the zone. Anything above that or below that, it's bad.
Look, let me tell
Because
you something.
even what?
I'll stick to the zone once
Uh-huh.
I've reached the goal, because I'm not trying to be 50 years old and still working this hard. Like, I need to get it done by 40. So from there on, it's just vacations
But
and
you want to get to what you're 50 and you actually have your health and you enjoy it. And if you're pushing that pedal above that threshold, you might not see it physically now, but you'll see it at 50.
you
For
think so?
example, one of the big ones I see with stress and people that are like high like this, that autoimmune kicks in, because now we can start getting to metaphysics and stuff like this, but psychologically I see a lot of that, like stress that being suppressed, right? And
Yeah,
the body reacts to that, and one of them is autoimmune. Another
gotcha,
one is GI, IBS is a big one as well. Suppressed stress, or
gotcha.
too much stress. This is that oversympathetic that your body gets.
What is an indication of being overstressed?
Not staying in your stress zone.
No, but like, for example, I don't know what my stress zone is. So what would be an indication that I'm overstressed? Like, maybe not sleeping enough, or I don't know.
I think everyone knows it. Not everyone knows how to identify it yet. And that's what I work with people. A lot of things are mental. So, for example, like you said, not being able to sleep, irritability, right? A lot of times, if when you start, anger for men can be one of them as well. Those are mental. Sometimes it expresses physically, right? People then will start having irritable bowel syndrome. So, like, they start having diarrhea, or the opposite, start having constipation. Some people manifest with like diabetes. All of a sudden they'll have diabetes
Oh
after
well.
years. So it can definitely be stress. A lot of times people come in, for example, fatigue is a huge one,
Gotcha.
and that sometimes is also a symbol of chronic stress, because then what happens is when you have chronic stress, your adrenals shut down. And then when your adrenals shut down, which is what keeps you going, which is breeds cortisol, then you have fatigue. So they come into me like, hey, all of a sudden I'm like super tired. You're doing all this chemistry work, like the blood work's coming fine. What is it? And then you dig a little deep. It's just stress.
Yeah, gotcha. And I
So
bet I bet for you it's a lot easier to identify that, right? Like for a regular doctor, because a regular doctor would probably start prescribing pills and just treating all these other symptoms rather than saying, hey, wait, like let's take a step back. This potentially could be stress. And since this is like your realm, right?
Correct. So like there's a reason. So I only take, for example, in a day, new patients, I only take 3 patients at most in a day. And there's a reason for that. I want to take my time with every single patient. So my first intake is an hour.
Okay.
And I'm going through everything with that patient. Now, follow-ups, of course, are shorter. I don't need as much time once I know the patient, I'm working with them. But I think in conventional medicine, where we miss is in that quickness, right? And
Yeah.
we have that. It's like the pill to the, there's a saying that goes, the pill to the ill. You got something, you have diabetes, here's the metformin. You
Yeah.
have hypertension, here's the ACE inhibitor. You have whatever, they don't just stop and take a moment to listen. And part of it is obviously because the way the system is designed with insurance, but medical insurance, that's a whole different story.
Correct. And are your patients able to bill, their treatments through their insurance company when working with you?
So I don't take insurance. One of the reasons I do not take insurance is because of that. You have to understand medical insurance too dictates a lot of what I can and cannot do. So
Gotcha.
for example, me spending time on lifestyle medication, right? Like what you need to do to change your habits, I wouldn't get paid for that. Versus if I
Gotcha.
just give you a medication, then I get paid for that. So going outside of the system allows me the freedom to give the care that I want.
Gotcha.
Um, there's lab work, some lab work can be covered through insurance,
Yeah.
but sometimes that also can be paid. I tend to keep lab work between $100 to $200.
Gotcha.
And that's usually first time. Eventually you don't need as much lab work.
Gotcha. And
Yeah.
are there a lot of doctors like you?
No, there's none like me.
No. Well, it's not just like you, but similar. I mean, like ones that really care about the patients, that take the time to do the intake for an hour versus just like 10 minutes, that don't bill the insurance, that bill the patient. Is this like an up
There's
and
a
coming?
movement. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
movement. There's a integrative medicine, functional medicine movement.
Okay.
And because we recognize that everything that is ailing our society, all of the top cardiovascular disease, cancer, all the mental health right now, even COVID, if we really want to get down to it, are all influenced by chronic disease, which at the root cause is lifestyle. What is it that you're eating? How is it that you're managing your stress? How are you active? How are your relationships, right? With your community, with your significant other, with your friends, how do you feel about yourself? Do you have self-esteem? So all those things, I think, are becoming more mainstream because we're seeing as a society that no longer can appeal to the ill work, right? I
Yeah.
can't just give you something and just kind of make it feel better. It's kind of maybe mask the symptoms and it'll make you okay for 5 years, but then you'll be coming right back and be like, hey, this is not working. So I'm just going to plug another hole.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and it's like you said, it treats the symptoms, but it doesn't solve the problem. So that's very important. And while you're talking, I'm here thinking, because see, I want to live to like 130 years old, more or less. I
Okay,
have to.
so we're kind of, me too. I want to I cut it off at like 110. So, all right.
I'm trying to get as many years as I can because for me, once you die, that's it. Like
Yeah,
you cease to exist.
I
So
agree.
uh, I'm trying to make it as long as I possibly can. Even if I'm old and crippled, I don't care. I still want to be able to open my eyes at least. So I'm wondering now because I feel like I'm a pretty healthy person and I feel like I handle stress really well and I don't know. I'm very positive. I sleep very well. I like to have fun as well. So I think I've found a good balance. But I'm wondering now if there's a way that I can optimize, what I'm doing now and promote longevity as well. Maybe with like meditation or doing more than what I'm doing now to be better. Is there
So two things I want to say. I always say for people that are in their 20s and 30s, the way you optimize is know your base levels. If you know what you start in your 20s and 30s, once you start getting in your 40s and 50s, then you have something to measure. For example, testosterone, right?
Okay.
Testosterone is something big with men. Sometimes I have men like, oh, I want to start testosterone. They're in their 20s. I'm like, you don't need testosterone in your 20s, but come measure your testosterone, know where your level is, know what you're feeling right now, right? So if your symptoms change or later on in life, then you know where you need to be. So that's just an example. Another thing I want to mention, there is a whole entire genre in integrative medicine, which is referred as regenerative medicine.
Okay.
And that has to do with all of like gene hacking and people that to get like longevity. So that's all like when you said that, I was thinking of you. Oh yeah, that's Edgar. I do a little bit of that. I do a knee injection, so I do regenerative medicine into knees. So
Okay.
people that are suffering from osteoarthritis, for example, or which is like where you lose the bone.
Okay.
Right? So, excuse me, the cartilage. So you're on bone on bone. That's osteoarthritis. So conventional medicine says that you cannot rebuild that cartilage, but I think to a certain extent you can't. You can, and then there's different procedures that you can do that for that.
And you've seen that cartilage regenerate in some of your patients?
I have not done any MRIs, right? Which is the way that you can for sure know that you have rebuilt cartilage.
Yeah.
But what I do is measure the symptoms. So the pain scale, the cracking and so forth. And that I have had very much success.
Gotcha. And my knees are fine.
And to answer your question about meditation, by the way, so one of the biggest things that they say that the reason why we age is because of telomeres. Have you ever heard of that? The telomeres are at the end of the chromosomes, right? So as we age, the telomeres get shorter and shorter and shorter. For example, turtles, one of the reasons that they can live past 100 is because their telomeres actually do not get shorter. So that's actually one of the therapies that they're looking into is how do we keep our telomeres from shortening. And they have found that meditation is actually one really good one that you keep this telomeres longer. Sugar, the reduction of sugar, for example, is so living a life where you have low sugar content is another one that keeps your telomeres healthy and longer.
Sugar in general, or like simple sugar specifically, like simple go ahead.
I would say like simple sugar, but sugar is sugar, and fruit juice is sugar.
Yeah.
Like the fruit, when you eat the fruit is okay because you're getting a lot of that fiber with it.
Yeah.
But when you squeeze that fruit, that's no longer in its normal form. You've taken out all the good stuff and just taken, literally taking sugar with water and drinking it.
All right. So for the viewers, no more fruits, guys. Forget about the fruits. Meditation. All right. Look, I want to do something. Can you show me? How I want to start meditating. Like this is something that I've discussed in previous podcasts. I just don't even know. I know I could easily Google it, but because I'm busy doing other things that actually generate income for me.
Meditation does generate income. Let me tell you what meditation is. Meditation is basically just being aware of the present moment. You can do
I'm super aware. No, for real. I am. Maybe that's why I don't need to meditate. Because
well, maybe you're just meditating the entire time. You just don't know.
Maybe my life is a meditation. Like
There
I'm
you
just in
go.
a constant state of meditation throughout my
I
life.
think that that's what we're all like. That is what the Buddha was trying to do.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So you're
So
just Buddha.
I have been called Zeus in the past, which I don't know. Like I don't know. It doesn't relate, but that's
Really,
true.
Zeus.
That's true.
You've been called Zeus. That's kind of nice.
It was a joke. Let me tell you real quick. This joke. I don't really say jokes on this podcast, but today's
I want to hear it.
it's I'm having fun this with this one. So not that I don't have fun with the other ones, I do, but this one's I'm having extra fun.
Oh, okay.
So this one time, I went to a friend of mine was waiting for me at Flanagan's, and he told the front girl, oh, the girl, the hostess, he told her, hey, I have a friend coming. Please let him know that I'm in the back, whatever. And he told her he looks like Zeus. So whatever, I come in and she's like, oh, you must be Zeus. And then and I was like, what? And then it kind of stuck as a joke between my friends. Occasionally I'm called Zeus, but not
I
because I
think
bring.
that's a pretty cool nickname. I would take it. I would, yeah.
We actually have a Pat. Can you pass me the statue? Hold up. Was this is not? Oh no, the bolt, the lightning bolt.
Oh
This is
my,
why.
that's so cute.
If you have watched any of our previous podcasts, you'll probably see this guy in the back, and that's why. Like this was given to me. Um, see.
That's pretty good. Oh my God. We'll add Buddha to it.
Yeah, I guess I'll add him there. All right. No, so for real,
No,
I'm.
but I think even for you, even if you just take a moment, and we can do it right now. Let's just do it right
Let's
now.
do it right now. All right.
Let's do it
Let's
right
do it
now.
right now.
All right.
But is it gonna take long?
No. 2 minutes. We'll do it like a 2 minute fast. So
Hold on.
one thing
Okay.
okay, so we're just gonna take 2 minutes
Do I need to turn
just
off the
to
light?
kind of stand here. No. So this is something that everyone can do anywhere you're at. You can even do this while you're driving.
Okay.
So just, we're gonna stand here, and I want you to start paying attention to your head. So feel the weight of your head,
Oh, okay.
okay?
I was making sure I wasn't supposed to be looking at my own head because I'm looking
No,
at yours.
just, yeah, you
All
can
right.
look at mine if you want. Just kind of feel the weight of your head, you
Okay.
right? And feel kind of like your shoulders. Start noticing your body, like the presence of your body, okay? The where you are at, and I
No, no,
see
no.
that you're
Keep going.
laughing, but
I'm
no.
not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm just like you said my shoulders, and I'm literally like, are they still there? Like looking side to side.
But
All right.
it's
All
a
right.
lot of times when we're walking around, we just don't even notice the
Yeah.
weight of our own body. So it's good to notice the weight of your head. Notice the weight of your shoulder as you're moving along the body, right? Notice your belly. Is it going in or out? Are you breathing? A lot of us only breathe from the chest, right? We should be breathing from their belly. That's how you get the most oxygen. So as you're breathing in, your belly should be sticking out, right? You want like a big balloon. As you're breathing out, you want your belly to go all the way in. So simple things bring the present moment, just the breath work. And that takes 2 minutes. So you breathe in and out.
So, damn, my head is heavy. Like no shit.
Yeah.
I, when you said feel the weight of your head, I'm like, holy fuck, I might lose this thing. So, and that's it. Like, I don't have
that's
to try to
that's
empty my mind or.
I always start with the simplest thing. Meditation at its core is just being aware of the present moment. Because in anxiety at its core, and we're talking, stress is a lot of things, is manifest in many ways, but one of the biggest ways that is manifest is through anxiety. And anxiety is just the person not feeling in control. If you can bring your body and yourself to your present moment, you are in control because nothing else exists
Yeah.
but your breath, but that weight of the shoulder, but your body. And you can do it anywhere. literally anywhere.
So
Obviously, and then when you see the Buddha that he goes into the cave and he meditates, yeah, that's great. We can all do that. But you can only do that for like what, a week or two? And then we all live in the world. We can't live in a cave, unfortunately.
true.
Maybe some of us don't want to. So you have to be practical, right?
Yeah.
How do you
And
how do you practice that present moment? How do you practice that when everything else around you keeps going? How do you find your control? How do you find your calm within the storm? That's what meditation is. That's what being in the present moment is all about.
gotcha. And is this something, the 2 minute thing, is it something that the 2 minute meditation, something that I should do every day? How many times a day? You know,
The more you do it, the more that you can bring yourself into that present moment, the more you start knowing yourself, the more you'll physically start seeing things. You'll physically, and then mentally you'll start seeing like your mental status. You're like, wow, my mental status is actually affecting my body, right? Like when you're racing thoughts, if you have that anxiety, your heart rate is going to start going up. When you start doing the breath work, you can literally bring your heart rate down. You can literally, your parasympathetic starts being activated. So you have control. You have control of your mind. You have control of your body. The more you meditate, the more, it's a muscle. Your brain is a muscle. Just like we go work out at the gym. I always say like your brain is a muscle. Look at meditation like that 5 pound weight. The more you do it, you'll pick up a 15. You'll pick up a 20.
yeah. But what if my head starts to get big because my brain is like, yo, I need more space.
I guess you just have to keep growing them shoulders.
Oh man. And they see little arms popping out like so.
Oh
um,
man, you're funny.
what should I do? Everybody's different, right? So I have a hard time getting people to. I know not everybody's going to work the same way or have the same drive or want the same things, but I would like the people that work with me to at least subscribe to the vision. What recommendations do you have for me?
When you lead, people will follow. I I cannot express that enough. Where even I not practice that even with my patients. When I give my patients an intervention, right before they're ready. For example, I think you need to do A, B, C, and D, and that would be totally faster for me to be like, dude, you have diabetes, you have this and this, and I can tell. All you need to do is A, B, C, and D. They don't do it. That's an intervention. I'm telling them what to do.
Yeah.
But if I hold space, if I guide them, if I see that, and it's a whole thing it's called motivational interview. Is where you are allowing you're basically allowing the patient to make a decision for themselves, but you're guiding them through that.
Gotcha.
So if you lead a person, if you walk beside them, they will follow. They will eventually will get there. And I think what most of us have um, an issue with, or
Trouble?
is that we want everything fast. We want everything fast.
Yeah.
It takes time. It takes time. And I think if you're consecutive, you lead by example and you continue to do things every day, you will see
Hmm.
results. And
Gotcha.
people that, and I'm a true believer that what you put out definitely comes back, good or bad. So if the people that you attract are the people that are meant to be in your life, um, I truly do believe that, and that goes with with the people that I work with, the people that I employed, even to my patients. Like there are patients that after a first visit, we know it's not going to work. It's a completely different style, and I refer them to someone. Hey, I think this is going to be better fit for you.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
yeah, so I think leading by example, and no interventions, no interventions. Don't tell people what to do.
just guide them to what the okay.
People want to make their own decisions. This is what I've learned from interest. People want to make their own decisions, but they want to be guided. They
So
want to be.
is it because they want to know that the power lies within them to decide? Is that, do you think
A
that's
lot
what
of
it is?
a lot of people have self-esteem issues. I think a lot of the problems that we have in society is self-esteem issue. What is self-esteem issue? Is basically not knowing who you are, not knowing what are your boundaries, right? What it is that you're okay with and what it is that you're not okay with, what it is that you stand for and what it is that you not stand for, in every aspect of your life, right? There's many people that are like really good businesses, but like their relationships at home are like, they're horrible. They're
Yeah.
horrible, right? Or vice versa, like, so I think it comes down to knowing what, like, again, who you are, your values, where your boundaries are. Many people do not know that. And that is a lot of times where I come in, is to hold a space, a safe space for my patients, and let them know it's okay. I'm here. I know about health, right? I can guide you through this. And eventually they make their own journey. I'm just there beside them, make sure they're not killing themselves, you
Yeah.
know?
Gotcha.
That's like
In a
my main
sense.
job. It's just to make sure you don't kill yourself.
Do you have you been able to measure your success like in a quantifiable way? For example, you came into a company that had was a mess, and then they were generating $1 million a year, and then 2 years after your interaction with them, now they're much happier. They're generating $3 million a year. Some way to quantify it, not necessarily in money. I'm just
Yeah.
throwing out there as an example.
I have not done any independent research. So a lot of that statistics, which I think I've shared some with you, has been through internal work from the companies. There's not much research, and I myself have not done statistical research within the companies. That takes, time, and it takes as well as monetary. So I haven't. I think most of the statistics I've seen is from internal. It's come from internal, right, from the company itself doing its internal research.
Gotcha.
Um,
But
yeah.
so after your involvement, the company or the employees have come back to you and told you, hey, thank you, we're so much better now. You've gotten that type of feedback?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I have not, I want to be very clear, like with companies I have not worked long term, like in terms of 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
I have worked more of in a contracting capacity, coming in and doing classes and so forth. But I also have my clinic as well, seeing patients one-on-one.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I want to be clear with that. But I have seen, you know, the companies come back to me, obviously keep wanting to do workshops about different things.
Yeah.
People are coming to the workshops. People are using the tools that I'm giving them, for daily life. They first start
Yeah.
implementing at work, and then that goes and spews outside of work into their other aspects of life.
Gotcha.
But I would love to, I think, to be honest, I think that is something that needs to be done. That
Yeah.
research needs to be done. And the most I have seen has been from this 500 Fortune 500 companies that have invested to do that research.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, I mean, you have a great platform, and I think with the information that you have and just everything that you're offering has a lot of value. So I would encourage you to do more things like these. Put them online and just get out there.
I have some research, so they can always go to my website. It's DRSADI, so drsadi.com. Sign up for my emailing list. I do, so once a month, I put out a mailing list, and in there, I always do research on a certain topic. So, for example, right now, the next one I'm putting out is going to be on post-COVID syndrome.
Okay.
So the research that I'm doing on that, because for example, I block certain hours every week just to do research on certain topics. And then
Gotcha.
I put that information out. So I recommend people to subscribe to that. I also, on my website, I have supplements, so like supplements for the post-COVID syndrome, supplements to keep your immune system healthy, all those things as well you can find on my website.
Gotcha. And send me a text with the website, because I could always watch the podcast and write it down, but I want to subscribe, and I want to see these things that you're researching and informing us about. Because like you said, anything that for me, longevity and efficiency, anything that can help me in that journey, I wanna know about. So definitely looking forward to that.
Have you got your testosterone checked? You can
No.
start there.
Do you see something that requires?
No, but I think you know what? It will be good to know your level now that you're my age. Yeah, you're my age. It's good to know your level now.
Yeah. Okay.
Next time you go get your physical, ask your doctor to get your testosterone.
I used to be that person that would go and get an annual every year, like a checkup, right? Mm-hmm. But now I put that power into Maritza's hands, and somehow I've gone like 2 or 3 years. I haven't gone to the doctor. She doesn't schedule my appointments, man. What the hell?
Well, tell her to schedule your appointment and to ask for a testosterone. She'll thank me in 10, 15 years.
Okay, yeah, definitely. It's good. It's good that you pointed that out, because now at this age is when we start losing it, right? Or around this age.
So after men particularly get a big drop after the age between 30 to 35, you start seeing an actual decline. I believe is 1%, 0.5 to 1% every single year.
How do I stop that? Can I stop that?
Physical strength.
Physical strength is like working out?
Yes. Well, I mean, that is like one of the biggest interventions I always tell people, and obviously you do that, but men need to, everyone, women as well, but one of the easiest ways to keep your testosterone up is to work out.
Gotcha. And is a specific type of workout like bodybuilding or strength or like conditioning?
Well, you need all kinds of physical activity, right? There's the strength, right, which is good, and then there's a cardiovascular as well, and we can talk about those separately. But particularly for testosterone, is the muscle building. So big weights. It's what builds the testosterone up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I need to start hitting them squats, man. Like my legs. I've never had
big
legs.
You look great. I've seen videos of you. I'm like, okay, Edgar still look like, he lifting.
He can get it. Oh, that boy can lift. What?
Hey, I do CrossFit. So it's easy for me, because I need like something quick in terms of like, go to the gym, tell me what to do, and I'm out.
Yeah.
So I love CrossFit. That's, roller skating. I do that as well.
I've
surfing.
seen those videos. That is badass. You're crazy. Like going down that ramp. I was like, oh my
God. You should have seen the first time I fell off that damn ramp. I was like, oh yeah, I can do this. I got up there and I was like, what? I was like, I can't do this.
Is your profile on public?
Yes. Yeah, okay. Add me on there. I also write for a roller skating magazine. So, it's from.
What's your handle?
It's Dogs Day magazine. It's dogs, like my what?
Like, how do people find you if they want to follow you? Or do you not want to share that?
No, of course. It's public. Sadi Jimenez, Sadi Jimenez, Jimenez.
Pack, are you able to put it there, like on a little? For sure. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That'll be cool.
Excellent. One last thing that I want to touch with you on. It's about death.
I'm very comfortable with death.
Are you really? I'm
I
so
used to
uncomfortable
work,
with it.
I am so comfortable. I used to work in organ procurement. So I was the last thing that you would probably see before you die. Um, that we can have a whole podcast on that one. But no, I worked, I'm very comfortable with death. So go ahead. What's your question?
So since for a person like me and like you know, once you die, you die. Like that's it. You disappear. There's no heaven, no hell, like no other universe. At least for me, right? Or am I speaking only for myself?
I think I would like to think that I will come back as like some kind of princess or something, but
I mean, I would
that's,
love that,
I
obviously.
think I think that we are souls having a human experience. Now, however, I do not think that there is some God in like heaven waiting for me, and open the heavenly gates.
Gotcha.
Um, that's it sounds nice, but I do think that there is a spiritual right component to me, and I and you can see that in health as well. The people that have spiritual issues that manifests as well as physically.
Really.
Um, yeah,
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 but the thing is, and my biggest issue is when you become a spirit because you've left the body.
right.
Will you be conscious? Is there consciousness at the spiritual level? Like, do you walk amongst the living, just being a shadow? You know what I'm saying? Like, and
You
this is why I struggle with the topic of death because to me that doesn't exist. Like, that's it. You die. You just become energy, right, or whatever it may be. And I don't want to die. So how do you deal with the thought of death?
you make peace with it. So like this is my thing when I say what I say to death. I'm always like, look, I know I'm gonna have to meet you, but not today, bitch. Like I definitely because and I think probably it's because I've seen, I don't know, I got involved with it. I felt when people literally there's another way to explain when someone's spirit, light, whatever you want to call it, leaves the body, you're like, what the hell? I just felt that like
You felt that?
that. Yes, and it's like I'm not saying it's not like it's like a sixth. I'm telling you, like there's nothing else. Maybe it was in my head, but I mean, how many things can you not create in your head that becomes reality, right? Um,
You're getting into some
we
deep
that's
stuff.
metaphysics. That's a metaphysics. Do we die and go somewhere else? I don't know. Do I hope so? Yeah,
Of
because it would be
course.
nice.
No,
But
well,
just in case we don't, I'm gonna live it up. Make sure I die 120.
100%. And I use that because on a serious note, this is something that I think about very often. Like it haunts me, especially at night when I'm in bed and I'm about to go to sleep. I'm like, fuck, you know, like I need to do everything that I want to do every single minute of the day because we live as if we were immortal, right? Like for the most part, people live, they go about their lives as if you had all the time in the world, and you don't. You are limited. So it's like, how can I fit as much as I possibly can within this period of time? So that's my struggle there. Like, but even though you know that pain, like when your boyfriend leaves you or something, or girlfriend, and then that gut, like that, you know what I'm talking about, in your
Yeah,
chest. I
yeah, I
get
know.
that. I get that when I think about dying, and then at the same time, like 5 minutes later, it gives me a huge push to like grab life by the horns and like, make it my bitch. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
so I'm like, I gotta go do something. And that's why I have like so much energy, and I'm always like so optimistic, and I'm always pushing, and then like, yeah. So my question to you about death was, how do you deal with that same like pain and agony of the thought of death?
Whenever there's something that bothers you, that's where you need to lean into. That's where the work needs to be done. Because character, that Brazilian songs that we talk about, is only built through trials. So I'm going to give you an intervention. When that happens, breath work. That anxiety that you feel, that we're like, that's anxiety, that you feel it right here on the chest, that's anxiety. That's your sympathetic overreacting. You got to activate your parasympathetic.
Okay, so what? Real quick, because we only have a few minutes left. But what? Give me the breath
You
work.
broke up there.
Oh yeah, my internet is unstable. Hold on. Okay, we're back. What? Tell me, what's the breath work that I should be doing?
So breath, there's all kinds of different like breath, and people have all these fancy things. I started the minimum. Know if your breath is coming from your chest or is coming from your belly. So the easiest way is doing that is putting your hand right where your belly button is, and when you breathe in, you should feel it come like your belly popping out, right?
Okay,
That's a full extension. That's a full breath in. And then you want your belly, as you're breathing out, you're going to push with your hand into your belly and into your spine. So you're pushing that belly button into your spine and taking out all that breath out.
gotcha.
Okay, so
Okay,
that's one full breath. That's one full breath from the belly.
okay. How many of those do I do to make that sensation go away?
How about you tell me? Let's practice, and the next time you tell me.
You want me to call you? It usually happens like at 1 o'clock in the
Yep,
morning.
you'll get my voicemail, but yeah, you can call me. You can do breath work all on my machine.
No, and if Maritza hears me on the phone, she'll be like, "Who are you talking to?" Like at 1 o'clock in the morning. Don't worry, baby.
Let
I'm
me
just
tell the breath. It sounds a lot different, so I think you'll be fine.
she'll be like, I'll be like, she'll be like, what the fuck is going on?
You definitely won't be doing that. It will be more like like that. It will be more like,
All right,
see,
all right. But how many of those do I do?
I'm not gonna tell you. It's your body.
Okay, but
You're gonna tell me.
I do it
Listen,
until I feel good.
you do it until you feel that you have control of your body again,
Gotcha.
right? That those emotions, that whenever you feel anything on, this is a good way to say it. Whenever you feel anything on your chest, right, that is sympathetic overdrive, right?
Gotcha.
You have two systems. Your nervous system runs on sympathetic and parasympathetic, right? It's basically the accelerators, the sympathetic, the parasympathetic is your brakes,
Okay.
right? So whenever you feel any tightness in your chest, that is your sympathetic. So you want to put the brakes. That is your parasympathetics.
Gotcha.
You feel your parasympathetics in your belly. If you can differentiate that, so you'll know, right? That's a good way to know. Like, okay, is this feeling in my belly or in my chest? If it's
Gotcha.
back in your belly, then that's a good way to know you're activated. Your
Gotcha.
parasympathetic.
Okay,
Does that
I'm
make
gonna try
sense?
that. Yeah, it does. It does. It does. And no, like you've been talking, I've been practicing already, breathing from my belly. So I think
Okay.
I got it down packed. I
And it
can't
helps with abs.
really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lord
Yeah.
knows I need those. Um, now I can't wait to get that paint tonight. I'll be like trying to figure it out. Looking forward to. All right.
Oh man, this has been so
Hey,
much fun. Thank you for
I know.
having me.
No, thank you for being on.
Um,
If it okay, so you're in California, but you do this via Zoom. So if anybody wants to reach you, what is the best way to contact you?
so they can schedule, so drsadi.com, so DRSADI.com. You can schedule on there. You can see my services. I have always an assistant as well calling after you schedule to talk to you. I do offer 15 minutes for free. No, actually, no, I cut that down to 10 minutes because it was too much, but 10 minutes free of just consult if you want to talk to me, kind of know what I'm about, see if we're a good fit. Yeah, I offer that as well.
Okay, okay. And so anybody that's just looking to have be healthier, right? Whether it's in the workplace, as internally, whatever it may be, they can reach out to you, right? Like anybody
Absolutely.
that's stressed out.
Absolutely. And I work a lot with people that are looking for preventive stuff, not just this, the sick people.
Gotcha.
People that are in our age and want to optimize, right? Optimize their health. So, a lot of it, for example, are body builds. Like I work for the CrossFit gym, I do exclusively pretty much health for most of their members. And most of them are healthy, right? They're working out, they're eating well. So
Yeah.
like what I prescribe to my like chronic patients, I don't prescribe to them. So with them, I'm working like really specific supplementations, really specific injections, for example, like weight loss injections. That's a whole different thing. But, with even with patients that are not sick, there's a lot you can do. There's a lot of wellness and optimization that you can do.
Gotcha. Well,
Yeah.
guys, you know where to reach her. So please
Yes.
contact her. And I personally recommend her because she's not only a friend, but obviously she knows exactly what she's talking about. And she's already offered to give me some free, medical advice. She hasn't, but I'm just, putting that plug in there.
Listen, why don't you want to go to my website, make an appointment, okay?
Okay.
We'll sign the consent forms and we'll start. And then you can report back.
Okay. Let's do that. And then
Okay.
we'll check how, like, we should do this again in, like, what, 3 months? A month?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Pat, we'll schedule it for like 3 months, and
Yeah.
we'll start something. I hope you're not too
Okay.
expensive because I'm my budget is tight. I already told you that. Real tight.
Listen, don't mess with me.
Give
I
me a
know you
family
got
discount.
money, but listen, but you're my friend. You're my childhood friend. I would not dare charge you. I wouldn't.
No, I
You
want you
or
to
your
make money.
family.
I just don't want you to get rich off of me. That's all I'm asking because I don't want you to work for free either. What we'll do is I'll schedule a consult, a one paid consult, and then I'll call you after hours, and that's like the friend discount right there.
To be honest, I do not make much money on patient consults.
Really?
Yeah. Do you know how much it takes? So like, I mean, I don't even know if we're recording it, but for example, like an hour, a first patient visit, I charge $350, but I'm spending a lot of time as well in the back end after that at 1 hour researching, especially if
Yeah.
it's like chronic diseases that a lot of times I've seen patients for, or doctors for many, many different years. So where I make most of the money is on like things that you do when you're sleeping. So it's definitely not during patient care.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Well, what do you? Well, let's find out. Look, let's do this. You help me become optimized, and I'll help you grow your grow your finances and how to monetize every single second. So you're making money every single second of the day.
That sounds good to me. Oh God.
All right.
Well, go on my website,
yes, I will.
okay? Make an appointment, and let's get this show going.
I will. I'm gonna go do that right now. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being on here. It was very, very nice seeing you, and we're gonna stay in touch. Not let's stay in touch, but we are going to stay in touch.
Well,
Okay.
you've always said that, so let's see.
Well, like then life happens. I say that, and then life is like, oh shit, remember all these other crap you had to do? Yeah, that.
Present moment, Edgar. Present moment.
Yes, I'm gonna go do some breathing exercises now. All right, guys. Thank you so much for
Besos.
watching. Let me say bye before you log off. As I was saying, don't forget, subscribe. It really helps us out. So, Pat, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you guys subscribe, it like puts us into the algorithms, right?
Yeah.
Correct. So more people can see these things, right? So maybe a specific episode doesn't serve you, but it serves somebody else, and then you're doing everybody else a favor. So not a favor, you get what I'm saying. Just subscribe, like, and I want to hear your comments. All right. Thank you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.